Well, Heidi ho! Looks like we've reached a resolution, and we're going to comment on that today. And it's featured in the headlines. I don't know if you can read it. I'll straighten out the thing, but it basically says, "Breaking: FBI confirms human remains belong to Bryan Laundrie." Okay, when I do this video like 25 years from now, everybody's going to go, "Who?" Because by then there's going to be some changes that will eliminate his name. He may become a leader for a while, but not for long. But anyways, before we go into what actually happened, I got well, shit. Let's just go with what actually happened, and then we'll play the guitar song that fits it. No, let's do the guitar song first. Okay, here we go. This is a song dedicated to Bryan Laundrie, I guess, and it'll be real quick, a minute song, one verse. All right, see, here we go. This microphone, I don't know what the hell to do with it, but hey, we're working for pennies here. We're working for pennies. All right, here we go. It's a little Bob Dylan tune. I think he wrote it first. Mama, take this gun from me. I can't shoot it anymore. It's getting too dark to see. Feels like I'm knocking on that heaven's door. Rock, rock, rocking on heaven's door. Rock, rock, rocking on heaven's door. Rock, rocking on heaven's door. Woo-hoo! Rock, rock, rocking on heaven's door. Let me hear your peoples now. Bryan Laundrie, you're gone, baby. So's your little girlfriend. That's unfortunate. Alright, we're going to go ahead and play what's going on here. We got the professional microphone set up. And here we go. This is what... Whoa, 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 whoa! Like I said, technology isn't that great, but we get good sound. Here we go. This is fine. This is JB. What the fuck? The mic's fucking it up. Okay, this is JB. JB, we're going to record what he says. I guess I have to be sound man, and let's see, we'll zoom in on it. Fuck it, you can't even do that. Alright, here's JB. He's going to be talking about the latest developments, and that it is kind of like where I'm going to end my official predictions, and maybe make a little prediction. I don't know. Of course, everybody knows about Gabby and Bryan Laundrie, social media darlings. They documented their little trip. They're a nice couple. They went from Northport, Florida, redneck. If you're from Florida, you know that's a redneck town. But anyways, they went from Norfolk to try to go to California or something, San Francisco. I thought I saw the Golden Gate Bridge in one of their things. Man, those lights are hard, huh? me get it. Okay. But anyways, they were caught on video, police video, and then later on they ended up. It was just interesting that the things started developing after that video was made, but it didn't get pushed out until she was on a missing persons report. But anybody that saw the video it doesn't introduce it like that. It says just a cam video, so you're thinking you're watching. Here's not a bad looking girl going after a dude. But anyways, so it did some twisted turns, and what ended up happening first, they found Gabby dead in Wyoming, and then there was some suspicious trips that Bryan Laundrie made in her van. The FBI got involved, and then they found him dead. Look, here it is. Here's the rest of it. And we gotta turn it up. We're gonna miss it. I know. I'm gonna hold on.
Bryan Laundrie is dead. Gaby Pepito is dead. It all, of course, now comes back to the Justice for Gaby calls online. The Justice for Gaby calls that you heard yesterday at the conclusion of the FBI press conference here at Myakkahatchee at the Carlton Reserve. Are we any closer to getting justice for Gaby? Will we ever get answers? Where are we on seeking the truth? Let's get to the release that came in from the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
The Department of Justice
here a short time ago. And I'll read it here as follows. Again, you can find it on the FBI Denver account on Twitter. And it reads, on October 21st, 2021, a comparison of dental records confirmed that the human remains found at the T. Mabry Carlton Jr. Memorial Reserve and Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park
you got that right.
are those of Bryan Laundrie. The FBI is grateful for the tremendous investigative support from our partners.
They don't do much.
North Police Department, Sarasota Police Department, Jackson Police Department, Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, Lee County Sheriff's Office, Sarasota County Sheriff's Office.
Okay, you get the general idea. I'll have it going on if you want to see, But fucking tragedy, man. It's a tragic thing. That's the light right there, man. Let's get it up like that. Okay. I was an English teacher a number of years, and I taught in 4 different counties. That may sound to you like, he's can't keep a job, but in one particular area. But no, it was everything involved, like how it was supposed to go. I tell you, if there wasn't a higher power that never made mistakes, that would be one of those things. It wasn't. Every place I went wasn't a mistake. It all just flowed into one big teaching career, English. Okay, so I'm one I've read some stories, especially Romeo and Juliet's like this. I think there's others where it's this tragedy where both the main thing is both died. So one killed the other. Yeah, definitely. So unless they find what if they find his manner of death was by strangulation? They should give him, the benefit of the doubt. How did he die? Shot himself or alligator or what? Okay, because he was found in the damn swamp. All right. I think the parents' role in that was to tell him that. But as far, I think a lot of parents that are depressed or something tend to just kind of not say much because it's a shock. This is a shock. Maybe a shock, maybe not. Even if it was, they trained him to do this for the rest of his life. It's still kind of like something happens to you and it actually, something of this nature, magnitude happens. And it gets this big, They got a lawyer, and the lawyer really overstepped his bounds probably. He's probably like, where's the money? Where's the money? I put some You know, they probably don't want to pay him because they think any minute the FBI is gonna come down there and arrest him for whatever. Here's a good. Thank God there was someone that reviews the federal laws and sees that there's no, you know, they didn't break any. So far, if you're not arrested or no one calls you out at an FBI press meeting in the woods, you know, you're okay. Okay. So, anyways. The real question is I run a generation show. You know, I invite all different types of people from each generation. You know, there's 5 of them, but there's subgroups. You can even, you know, maybe you can design yourself, like pick a couple 5 years in your life that were crucial, and just say I'm all of those 5 years. You know. And that even if you just pick 1 year, just being born that particular year makes a difference in some attitudes. Some years are stronger than others. Some years I don't even remember. Like most of my years in my 20s, I don't remember shit. You know? Whoa, things keep falling. I need like, you know, a system or something. But I keep saying that. A beautiful assistant, nice, you know, when to pick up the books, or just keep them and, you know, find the furniture that keeps shit together. Okay, so anyways, the final surmise is out, so you can definitely make since the main dude of interest was found, Bryan Lombardi. I may never get his name right. Laundrie. Just think Dirty Laundry, that song by, Don Henley. Dirty Laundry. All the news people got to run in bed. When's that dead yet? You know, that kind of song. It's done. I mean, details aren't out, but basically, you know, it was I'm calling it a double murder suicide. You know, I'm not taking any sides. I'm not gonna say one did it to the other. One is less responsible. They were equally responsible in this, because of what I observed in the Utah video. Or if 3 or 4 cops decide that you are, you know, the boyfriend, Bryan is the victim, and that Gabby is battering him around, hey, that's pretty good, you know, cred, you know, for your resume. Say that you don't do anything to women. 4 cops say, oh, you're being battered around. Hey, I'll tell you, I'll give you a little secret. You know, it should domestic abuse. You always think of women, and the Me Too generation is gaining steam, but they're gonna go a little too far one day, pick the wrong guy or something, and even their own kind are gonna go, well, you know, we didn't have to do that, you know. But anyways, is that white screen there? I just want to make sure. What light is doing that? Wow, we're in outer space, dude. If I just turn it totally off of it, no, wow. Hey, if I want to make some pyrotechnics, I gotta get the pyrotechnics in so I look like, you know, people pay attention to me here. But anyways, a good beginning and ending can be made. A book can be made already. You know, there's an ending. You know, and it can end like the Britney Spears thing. Like, you know, she did it, but we don't know where the future lies there. So there's still a future to this, in that there's still a number of things that need to be answered, like how did it happen, you know, and maybe there's a confession or letter somewhere, that kind of thing. So anyways, shit, this really getting really bad. But so anyway, I'm gonna just try to talk and still get it done. But anyways, you know, it's like, is it this light? Okay, but anyways, anyway, it's one of those things. It's one of those days, bomb, sun and bullshit. Yeah, I got ADHD. I just want to tell it first, but then as I progress, you'll get used to it. It won't worry you that much, as it does some people. But see it, so you go up. It's better if you just kind of leave it up. But anyways, you can see JB talking. And so anyways, yeah, what I'm saying is that I should be wearing my glasses. I should be wearing my glasses all the time. What are they saying is bullshit? Played you guys a song, and that's gonna be the highlight of this video because was not prepared here. Okay. So yeah. Whoa. Showing off my glasses. Showing off my sexy leg. Okay, I'm wearing glasses no matter what. It's bright. It's bright. So that's why I was thinking it was looking good because, yeah, see, you wear sunglasses and you can see things like the way you're supposed to be seen. There's no glare. Damn, the whole time. Anyways, the real thing in this is that you can have this ending story. Now, what does this say? The real ultimate surmise is what does this say about relationships? Because it's a double murder suicide. I think they're probably gonna say homicide. They know who did it. Blah blah blah. But really, what does this Gabby Bryan relationship say about today's relationships? There's all kinds of relationships, but particularly the male-female relationships, where we will cuss them out. Regular people will cuss females and males out kissing in public, and they'll yell at them, "Get a hotel room," that kind of shit. Ha ha ha. Yeah, and they hear it all the time, so they're like, not ha ha ha. So then it becomes what they do in private, and they always, it's the good thing about being like a couple that's doing things in private. It's like, exciting, But what if you just forced to be just in a room by yourselves, like because of COVID? What COVID has done is forced us to be isolated, and when you're isolated, you're not used to being isolated, so you suddenly got a family that's got to stay in one room, and you gotta all look at each other like dumb fucks, just like, duh, running out of things to say, all that stuff. It doesn't have to be that way. We're talking about solutions. This is not just a negative piece, it's positive. So the question is, what does this relationship say about the current relationship that we hold? There's all kinds of different combinations of relationships, but it's safely but it's folks generally male female, but it could be there's other types of males in a big rich business, how they handle each other and all that. But this is a relationship about a typical relationship that most relationships are. The girl, the guy, the potential. They were trying to she was a fiance. She was an aunt to Bryan's nephews, and So first of all, I'd like to say what happened was COVID happened, and people weren't used to just hanging out with each other, and it kind of just a whole new thing began, whole new situation began. Most of it, a lot of sleep. A couple slept a lot, and they didn't want to talk to each other. Only during like the first couple, and then they were totally told to stay home. That's when it became troublesome. But then when the work schedule got back up, it was all right a little bit. But still, there was that sense of we gotta be home most of the time, and that kind of drove people boring, boring. But creative people can like create stuff. Like, okay, it's gonna be we're gonna watch a movie, rated R movie. Kids will love that on Wednesday, and it's all kinds of things you could do. But my answer to the state of relationships in today's is fakes, fayers. We are forced sometimes to have relationships because of our peers or whatever, or what our mind tells us is what it is. From our experiences, our mind will tell us, hey, we haven't had one of those yet. Why don't we try it? Like, first time you see a girl and a guy walking down the street, you're going to be like, man, I wish I had one of those. I wish I had a relationship. So it makes you think. You're thinking about it all the time, but you don't step into it. But anyways, the isolation part was good for those people who are just used to being single. They don't really have any hope for themselves, and it's scoring a babe or whatever. How they look at or getting the man of their dreams or whatever. They don't really look at themselves doing that. So they're happy working, coming home and watching, or playing games or X games, or whatever. I don't know. So they're not used to spending time, and so their solution, it becomes problematic when you enter alcohol and drugs into the picture. Now we're all sitting around drinking, and you know how it goes. Everybody gets happy and fun at the beginning, and then it becomes melodramatic, and then real dramatic, and then someone gets into a fight, and then the police come. So that's how they go, how the drug thing goes. So drama also enters. Drama is never meant to happen, really. The first two people on this earth, never. The only drama was the self-imposed one on the apple, but it wasn't. They didn't really think of it as drama, but we don't need drama. It's not a thing we need in our society, really. But couples ending up fighting. So what's going on? Now let's say Gaby Pepito was a vlogger, as she's called in some news stations. A good one. She had creative ideas. Like she kind of gave a lot of hope to some people, some relationships that were dying. Like, because they decided, oh, we're gonna go from a redneck town, North Pole, Florida, to California, and of course Abby's got a little van, and it was cool, and they could sleep in it, and they can travel in it, and probably good on gas. Yeah, $3.50 a regular now. Shit, hell no. But anyways, my answer to it is they're all fakes, fayers. People will present themselves as having a relationship, but then when the cameras are off or nobody's looking at them, they become drab and shit. So when she was a vlogger, she got the couples kind of, maybe a girl and a guy would watch it together. See these happy couple going, hey, maybe we should take a trip someday, honey. That sounds great. They're documented. They're all happy, and pretty girl Gabby. Bryan doesn't say much in the videos. Just looks all smiley. We don't really know Bryan very well until we see that cop video. So they both they portray a great video journey, great creativity for Gabby if Gabby started it, and when it started losing its luster, reality was starting to set in, and the realness of the reality of the relationship was exposed. They weren't exactly getting along. They realized that maybe one person was making the other person do more stuff, while hey man, wait a minute, how come I gotta do all this shit? I think the relationship should be equal. We should like negotiate something. I'm probably thinking from the Utah video that they didn't have that kind of negotiation style. It was always one who was being the toughest at the moment. They probably both. I really strongly think there's some drugs involved. If not, narcotics or speed or drugs that make you angry, snappy, those kind of drugs. And it certainly seemed, and there was a question asked in the Utah video that, are you on any drugs? You got any drugs? It's like third question asked, and they all seemed, that it got my attention too. I was like, God, that guy is definitely on piece, speed, Tina, heroin, crystal meth, because he talks fast, you can't understand him. I don't know how anyone understood him. If he was wearing a mask or not, I can't really remember. You really couldn't hear him. You couldn't hear anybody else that was wearing masks in that video. But, so anyways, but the videos, I pretty much stopped after the Utah thing, because supposedly Gabby was pissed at Bryan for even getting into a situation being pulled over. So, this is a lesson in acceptance. How accepting was Bryan, was Gabby on their flaws. The flaws really came out when they started getting little. The drives were getting long. They got pulled over by cops. They were supposed to go to court or something. They had things to do, and it seems like it kind of put a damper. Those unwanted dampers. Like you make a big mistake, and the relationship is forced to end because mom and dad got divorced, so you got to be with them, or something happens that you gotta break away from your partner. It's doing good, mind you, but they got break away. And that breakaway in the video. The Utah video, just real quick, it was, they got caught speeding. There's a lot of videos associated with this movie that were released to public, and that was one was the when the Utah police, I don't know what Indian reservation place they were at. There was probably a casino close by, but that's about it. They got pulled over for going 35 and a 45 and a 35 maybe, and then all of a sudden they hit a curb or something unexpectedly, because it was from the cops' point of view, cap cam, and it was released like middle of August. It was released once, I think Gabby was on the missing reports list sometime in August later. I think it was filmed in August or late July, and then once it got to the missing persons part, they thought the cops would release the video so people could recognize him, see him. Boy, that video got a lot, for cops, cops, maybe it's probably lower in people watching, but this one looked like a cops episode, and I approached it that way. I didn't know nothing about it, and I kept seeing Gabby, and they kept showing how good looking she was, so I wanted to see it. And I did. At first, was amazed by the beauty of the girl. Not so much later on, you start noticing the flaws, which Bryan probably did too. It's kind of funny, like you notice, this girl is kind of like a biatch, she's, if you've seen the video like 10 times, you say, God, why did she say that? She changes her mind a lot, OCD, and, I can imagine what Bryan was thinking. But Bryan was being cool, not understandable, but laughing and smiling, so whoever was in charge was laughing and smiling. So he charmed whoever's in the police by just laughing and smiling, and he'd go yeah, and then repeating something, and they go ha ha ha. Even when he was in the car, it was with one of the cops, he was uncomprehendable. But anyways, so during the whole thing, Gabby's the whiner, but Gabby forced Bryan to turn the steering wheel, and that's why they got clipped on the curb. And she admitted that, and then it got, of all the things that they were looking over, that was the most aggressive move, and that was kind of a dangerous aggressive move. So she got, Bryan was the victim. So Bryan's got 4 people on his resume, 4 cops on his resume, saying that you're a victim. If anything comes up, you're that girl did it. You know, it should have been that girl did it, based on what the Utah video was showing. But you know, I guess we didn't show all of Bryan. Bryan played a good stoner, hippie, beatnik, short hair look off pretty well. Repeating himself 3 times, that worked. Yeah, he looked so worried during that whole video. I thought, God, the cops are gonna get him. But anyways, but the video showed a really bad side of Gabby. She was very whiny, very admitting a lot of things that she doesn't mean to do it, but she apologizes. But she loves the guy, you know, even though she was probably beating the crap out of him, and especially when she's already ordering, unless Bryan likes driving Ford vans that look like that, like Astro vans. I don't think he really liked driving a van. I think he even said it in the video. I don't really like driving this, but it was a cute little van that, you know, driving across the country. I'm sure they got honks, people. Hey, we know who you are. You know, it's kind of a friendly, and on social media, like if you got a thing going on, a documentary going, everybody knows it. You get little, like my nephew has a fishing show, and there's people that come up to him and go, "Hey, I seen you in your fishing show." You know, the social media outlets and what people are doing is noticed. You know, especially locally, and more, and internationally sometimes probably. You know, there's a chance he could go to France and some girl, goes, "I seen your fish. You catch good fish." So anyway, yeah, you got good. You know, so the videos have been good for this generation. The YouTubing videos eventually will become another. You know, right now, even older people, not really older, I still like watching Fox News commentary. I also still like listening to AM radio talk. You know, as far back as AM radio, sports talk radio, I still listen to that, and other FM talk stations. I like different people because I know what their ideas are going to be funny. So, anyways, once again, the latest news, and which is get me talking finally, is that they're both dead. Gaby Pepito is dead. Bryan Laundrie dead. The remains have been found and confirmed, 100%. So they're dead. So and since Gabby last week got the strangulation, she's done in by strangulation. Bryan's person of interest, the only person of interest. There's no suspect yet. Or maybe the FBI wants to change their thing real quick before it gets a, you know, or just get a skeleton up there real quick or something before he really saw the earth. But anyways, yeah. So if it's dead, then we're not. That's not our question. Our question is, how is this part of a familiar song to this generation, especially 22, 23-year-olds, and also indicative of older relationships, younger relationships, you know, in 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. How these people, how is it the same almost throughout relationships? They're always arguing. Yeah, they need a better, but you know, way they argue behind closed doors, in public, is there's just gotta be some like general suggestions that are really good, like don't be punching people in public, you know, slapping your partner, because that does bring a response, no matter who you are. And I think it's part of the reptilian brain. If they see a weaker individual attack a stronger individual attacking a weaker individual, the other members might jump in there and say, "Hey, don't do that," So yeah, there's kind of like a reptilian brain aspect to this, and also, okay, let's see. I've written some things down. I don't want to make sure I miss it, but I thought from the very beginning, drugs was big important to this. I thought Bryan seeing these kind of couples quite frequently, ones on meth or heroin or any kind of what, speeded up drug. God, spice. A marijuana couple is even a recognized couple. An alcoholic couple is recognized. These type. That's what I thought they were. Maybe they weren't. We haven't got a toxicology toxicology test confirms yet. Or does anybody care about that? They just look at its life. Some relate. A lot of things have in history. Like we didn't know most of the Nazis were on Adderall or on speed. There's a lot of things that happen in real in life that's part of history. Maybe not your own. But I noticed that everything just about in my life that's been kind of bizarre and crazy has been dealt to alcohol and drugs, and that's maybe it was because I was doing that stuff. I was making up. That's what it does to you. It makes you think that life is about crazy moments of jumping over pool tables and random girls you meet and a lot of weird situation, a lot of fights that are resolved, and the next day, hair of the dog thing, Some people like 3-day binges, binges is binge drinkers or not social drinkers can't go into AA meeting of alcoholic and stay in the program because they'll be like, no, I'm not like these guys, I can leave a half a beer on the table and just walk away from it, But, I mean, no, not me. I'm an alcoholic, no doubt about it. I would leave it. I would drink that beer. I'd be, oh, you don't want it? I'll drink it. That kind of thing, real quick. And then try to get the guy to stay two more. But whatever, it there was no escape for either one of them. They had to be on a trip of this magnitude. It seemed that they had to stay together a lot. One loses the other. People of that age and older age are forgetful. They don't charge their phones and they're walking off somewhere and they said, just call me when you're ready, and they drive and suddenly they've lost each other. That happens a lot, man. And it's also the nerd. Everybody's gonna think today's guy is basically nerdy looking. There aren't any really great looking guys. I mean, there are. I think everybody's good looking in their way, but it's just like not emphasized as much. But the girls are emphasized. You get a beauty like Gabby, you gotta be up on your game if you're a nerd like Bryan, and you look at his depressed family, and you kind of think, you got a good deal. Maybe this is an escape from that kind of depression and that seems prevalent in his family. But of course, I'd be depressed if my son is a murder suspect, But I didn't teach him to shoot or choke young girls, or did they? I don't know. It reflects on them. Believe me, they're feeling this too. Empathy. Maybe one Gabby talked too much, and Bryan was just like, how big talkers, and every once in a while you just want to say, shut the fuck up, just shut up, please, God, man, we got to talk about everything, and they could say, oh, I'm sorry if I'm talking too much, just let me know, and when you do let them know, they get pissed, so it doesn't work. So there's mental illnesses going on, maybe inflamed by the drugs or whatever, or McDonald's shake or something. they they're willing to. We all, as a society, can often tell couple. Yeah, yeah, I read it that one. Okay. Reduce businesses. Like COVID has taken away the at least the excitement of men. Oh, that's Fred. He's my husband. He's working in the back, in the yard, doing something, lawn mowing. And then, the wife would watch in the store, and say stuff like that. But they don't have more. The mom and pop businesses are with COVID. They were just like, not getting any money because they really just need money on just their they got the best money out of so few customers. Mom and pop places do, but if their customers aren't coming in regularly, it's not going to work. Find some, and another easy thing, get creative. Find couples that aren't really, they think they're doing this one thing and that's all they know about. Now if they're I can make a relationship last 2 years if I want, with all the talking I gotta do on things. I'll bring up something, I have a topic every day all written out on the calendar ready to talk about, and it can end up in a fight or it can end up whatever. So people need to just, no, there we go. People need to just, a suggestion is that people just take some time and amass some knowledge, find out what their talents are, what they're good at, and then by doing not only like guitar playing or fixing a small engine or whatever. There could be, you could have many talents. It's not you just got one talent that God gave you. God gave you a lot of talents, and you can have 20 or more talents and just work them. And something, and that's something that just creates action, creates a lot more talking. So, anyways. Get that into your life every day. Every day I want to be the town crier. I share information and get feedback. That's what I share information. I was a teacher, so I love to share information and I like to get feedback. And I like to, know more, a lot about this thing to answer the feedback question. So, letting go your, and I guess it was less cheating because it's less hanging. It was just mostly you hanging around. And the third party became troublesome once the couple spent more time isolated. Then to accept a third person into their little thing, it was harder. Seemed, and you were jealous. I was jealous. I'm jealous of like if there's a third party, especially if it's another male. I have no problem with two girls, lesbian, whatever. It doesn't matter. Glad they're there, make sure, the van they were riding in, it wasn't the coolest van in the world, and it wasn't a big sun duster, a recreational vehicle that's like 80 feet long, it was cramped, so I hope they hope they agreed on some escape time, but I bet they didn't. They were always like, when the other person decided to walk out, they'd be, where are you going? Because the risk was, it was a valuable and important thing because they had to know where they're going because they're out in the middle of nowhere. Okay? I could see Bryan as one of those guys that just, I want to look at this, and he takes off and leaves Gabby there going, what the fuck, and plus you see some shots of the van, even though it looked neat, but it was looking compact, not much space. Get yourself together. We need to. I hope they have time to have their time to escape and get together, and then later get together. You don't have to constantly say what's your trouble. Pets can help. Lots of marijuana can help probably, but those harder drugs, don't take those. uh, go to make sure you choose a pet together. Don't say, well, I put up with the other guy's dog. That can cost something. And any kind of information meetings. Like I could go to AA meetings because I got a reason. I haven't drank alcohol in a long time. I got the urges, so I do it for that and for the social aspect, to be able to talk and communicate. So that's what's missing in today's relationships is communication. It's still the pretty girl, the halfway decent guy. Now it's the pretty girl, halfway decent guy now, but it's since the majority of us aren't, like 10% are really born really good looking, and you don't. These are people that are hidden away. You never. Only NFL players that make millions of dollars will see these girls. These the really good looking women you don't see. You can never see because they're hidden. Because they know. Most pretty girls must know, and their fathers definitely do, that they can keep them away from the public, and only keep them around rich guys. If any guys, they gotta be rich. They know the places to take them, to bring them. So most of us are kind of like in this world. Most of us are just kind of average looking. We're good looking, but we're not. Especially when we're young, we're great looking, and those are young people that are great looking. I could see both of them looking scaggy and when they're 50s, unless they got, unless they're rich enough to, and the money seems to be there, unless they're rich enough to get the right doctors and to trainers and things like that. You can look good well into your 70s, but I'm gonna make that comment right now. But anyways, yeah, that's my take on it. It's just like today's couples don't know how to communicate with each other, and so there's more. It brings more negative energy into our society. We need role model couples that are appreciated instead of like, oh, what's that nerd doing with that gorgeous girl, or what's that ugly girl doing with that, like, gold digger guy. There's always negativity about couples. There needs to be more positivity with couples. But is it gonna happen? No, not anytime soon. I don't see it because now we're gonna deal with more drugs, and the drug couples are going to be exposed and a lot more. If this one isn't, I'm predicting they'll find some kind of drugs that was involved. But if not, if I'm wrong, that makes it worse. It makes it worse. Sober couples can't get along. Maybe they need drugs to get along, but how long does that last? The drug couples don't last. They don't. And then they don't even remember the sex in some of their relationships. That sucks too, sex. Wow, they probably had, it seems like it's like the greatest. If any guy, living, heart-breathing male, still sexually driven, was alive and watching that, they were like, I banged the hell out of that girl 4 times a day. And I hope there's a place in the camper that was good, but and that's what all they would think about it. But it doesn't. Does that happen? 4 times a day, couples, the good-looking couple, the health, probably the 21-year-olds, 22. But you got a lot of people watching this aren't. There's every age group, but the ones that are over like 30 are looking at this more perspective of relating to their current relationships, because it's 20-something people doing something that even that 30-year-olds, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80-year-olds want to do themselves, and they're doing it, and they're documenting it, and they got a following, and it's everything's going great until expectations become failures, and then anger, irritability, restlessness, discontent starts to creep into the relationship, And how you deal with that? You know, the solutions are simple. Well, I told you some solutions. They need to get a little more creative. You know, on their reports in, maybe, you know, but you know, just more learning how to communicate with another person, even if it hurts to say it. You know, sometimes you got to take risks in relationships. You know, you know so many relationships are broken up just because one guy wouldn't say I love you on the anniversary. You know, that's repairable. Just on the next anniversary, say I love you, you know, and then it'll be alright. Okay. I think that's all I got to say, and we'll listen more to JB. What's he's talking about, and we'll end it on that. You know. Okay. JB, back to JB.
My 2 cents on it are this, Jessica, that this isn't the final press conference on this story.
Yeah,
there will be more press
I forgot to tell what more things.
And
so many things,
it just
questions
on when we have results as far as getting answers on what happened to Gaby Pepito. Sophie Buchan, #HJB. Will there be another conference to confirm his death or how he died? I would imagine that it's entirely possible, just talking about it. Will there be another press conference, particularly on Bryan Laundrie's death? I don't know, but that's certainly possible. Also, the remains being found.
Toxicology report.
The circumstances just surrounding the remains themselves and the process, and where does DNA factor into this now? I mean, the dental records confirming this. I thought I thought it would happen in reverse order. I think that other experts said the same, that it would be DNA first, and then dental records would confirm what the DNA told them. But we have dental records here confirming that it is, in fact, Bryan Laundrie. I think the next press conference would be to announce results. Again, I've been talking on stream about the FBI doesn't announce developments or updates or little micro things that occur over the course of their investigation. They announce results. This is a result that they have announced. So the next time that they have results, I would imagine that a press conference.
Yeah, toxicology's resort. That's important result.
Denver, FBI Tampa.
You had to wait a long time to find out what happened to Michael Jackson and Prince and all them.
Pertaining to,
of
course, Florida.
Some are more emergency or others.
Denver, so I believe that FBI Denver.
You know, when Chuck Berry died, it was like, damn, he was still living. You know, you want?
Wow, hold on a second.
He's got something. He's got something.
I understand that there's a lot of people that are. I got to. You know what? Just putting my phone away. Putting the phone away. Let's get to.
This guy's always like. He's jumpy.
Next
probably needs Adderall. He needs to focus a little more, but
7 Eastern.
It's funny. He's
7
always
Eastern.
doing
Joyce,
something.
#AJB. Will the event be able to confirm how he died since all they found was bones?
Yeah, he could have been strangled too. That's what I said.
This is a challenge.
That's what I said.
For
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Because if the remains are